What is up, Broncos country, man? What's poppin'? It's been a minute since I've gone live, and I had a few minutes to just finally chill after a crazy busy Thanksgiving and Black Friday and all that good stuff. But appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna kind of let it breathe, kind of get some people to come in here, man. But hopefully, hoping you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you guys spent it out with some family, some friends, the people that you care the most. Enjoyed it, had some good food, maybe a couple drinks flowing. I certainly enjoyed it with some great people. And what I really enjoyed, man, was that triple slate of games that we had. I thought all three games were really good. Crazy, all three underdogs end up uh, end up winning the games. But obviously, Cowboys coming up huge, absolutely huge for the Broncos, with a win against the Chiefs. I thought that was massive, in my opinion, and so that was good. And I mean, did it bury the Chiefs? Not necessarily, but it certainly made them, making the playoffs a lot more difficult. I was gonna pull up some of the poly market stuff, kind of see where they were at. I used to use the New York Times tool. I really like that tool as well. That kind of shows the playoff predictions, and all of that. So let's see if I can actually find it here on poly market. It's kind of like the new thing everybody's talking about. But yeah, I mean, right now per them, we have the Broncos are 82% that we are going to win the AFC West. The Chiefs still got a 10% chance. It's pretty crazy. Um, that they're never like fully counted out. I think any other team in any other division, if they were as far back with as many games to go as the Chiefs are, I don't think they'd have anywhere close to 10%. So that's still pretty impressive when it comes to that. But yeah, let's see. I'm just gonna go to let's do NFL. We'll do NFL playoffs. See what pops up there. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so Broncos right now 94% chance to make the playoffs. Um, they are the fourth highest odds. New England's number one at 95, Green Bay 92%, Philly 91%, Broncos 94. And I'm guessing Green Bay probably because they got a really good division record. If I remember, I don't know if they beat. I think they might have. Yeah, they beat the Lions both times. So that's huge for them. But right now, still Kansas City, man, still 42% chance of making the playoffs. Still after that loss, and it makes sense because the bottom half of that the AFC standings right now is pretty there's kind of a cluster there. With Houston being the 8th seed at 6-5, Chiefs at 6-6. They're still really just two games out of a wild card spot, and I think they play the Chargers again, and I think they play Buffalo. It's crazy because they right now they don't have the tiebreaker against the Chargers. They don't have the tiebreaker against the Bills or the Jags either. And I think they're playing the Texans this week, or I felt like they were playing them sometime soon. Let me see this. Let's look at the Chiefs schedule. Oops. Yeah, they play the Texans next Sunday, and then the Chargers and the Titans, and then the Broncos again, and then the Raiders. So yeah, I mean, this Chiefs Texans game is, I don't know what the odds are in terms of like how it changes things, but I'll tell you what, man. Just based off looking at it, I think that very well is going to decide who's going to be the 7. Uh, or at least sneak into the wild card. I mean, it is massive, absolutely massive for both teams. So it'll be interesting, man. But yeah, still a 42% chance that the Chiefs are going to make the playoffs, according to them. And their odds are still higher than the Steelers, who are technically the 4 seed right now and technically still in. Um, and so that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Jacksonville getting a 71% chance. And then, yeah, Houston and Kansas City basically have the same odds. And that makes sense because they're essentially playing each other. And that might sway it. So we'll see. But anyways, I know us fans, we get really caught up in, looking at the other opponents and rooting for other teams to win. But really the most important thing that we can do, man, in my opinion, is continue to worry about what this team can control, right? Sean Payton came out after the Wednesday practice today, and he talked about, or it might have been the Monday call. Either way, he was talking about, after the bye, now you put yourself in a nice position to really the topic of the discussion becomes the division, winning the division, and also now seeding in the AFC. And I just hope that it doesn't turn into a distraction, right? That is one thing that this team is, you talk about what's been so impressive about the Broncos team really over the course of the last uh, you know, well, over the course of the last 2-3 years, really since Sean Payton's been here. what's been so impressive is that they're constantly overcoming like different feats, right? Like it was a winning season in year one, and then it was can you stop the playoff streak to the Chiefs? Can you make the playoffs? Those kinds of things. You kind of kept building and building and building up on that, and then it was you're losing close games. Now can you win close games? So we kind of kept overcoming those. And I think now it's going to be okay. The real distraction, the distraction of talking about winning the division, talking about being the number one seed in the AFC West, right? It's a different kind of pressure. It's a different element that many members on the team have never dealt with before. So that's going to be another thing that's interesting. How is that team going to handle it, right? Are they going to let the pressure get to them, or are they just going to continue to go about their business like they have been and kind of playing nonchalant? Because I think we've had an advantage of being in a situation where we're kind of always doubted. We're always the underdog, or nobody really takes us seriously, and we perform really well then. So what are we going to do now that people are legitimately coming after us, man? And we have a really good chance to win the number one, get the number one seed. But obviously, step number one, let's get this division one, right? Let's at least guarantee us a home game in the playoffs. I want to regain that crown of the AFC West champ so badly, man. And then step number two would be absolutely do what you can to try to get the number one seed. The stats are crazy, man. When you are the number one, you're playing 50% less games than everybody else in your conference. Your chances of making it to the Super Bowl are substantially higher. So I think it'll be huge. And then guarantee that everyone's going to come through Denver. That would be massive. But again, we'll take it 1 week at a time, and it starts this week against the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. My man Kodiak coming through saying, watching Marcky Sports in the dry corner of the shower while I'm getting ready for work. I love that, brother. Appreciate you, man. I hope you have a great shift at work. Hopefully it's not, well, I guess in a way I hope it's really crazy busy for you. I hope it's good and you get time goes by quickly, maybe get some good tips, all that good stuff. So appreciate you tuning in, man. Oh, that's a good point. Really, really good point, Kodiak. And here's one thing you might want to look for, potentially. I think that he talked about interesting report. Broncos are going into tomorrow's game with only 2 tight ends since Mercedes Lewis is out of elevations. Obviously, we know that Nate Atkins is out. And my guess is Prentice is tight end 3. Yes, Lil Jordan Humphrey will function a lot as a tight end as well. You look at the NFL snap counts from last week. I wanted to pull those up. I don't think Mercedes Lewis I think he actually might have played even less than he normally has, and he never really played that much anyways. So by having Lil Jordan Humphrey back, it was really, really big for this team. Let's see. So Lil Jordan Humphrey for us last week played 9 snaps, and Mercedes Lewis played 12. But previously he had played 20. He played 6. So it was a little bit. He went from 6 snaps in the first week to 20. And then down to 12. So yeah, it was a little bit of a mix there of using Lil Jordan Humphrey in that role. And I think a lot of it is game plan specific. They might not necessarily feel like they need to run a lot of 12 personnel, 13 personnel maybe, to have success running against the Commanders, because the Commanders are pretty bad at running. But who knows? And then who knows, dude? Maybe, just maybe. I don't know if they've announced any of their elevations yet. I was going to check on that, but. Is it possible you see Caleb Lohner come up? I very highly doubt it, but I mean, he is a tight end, and getting him some experience would be really good. We also have that Patrick Murtaugh guy who's got a little bit more experience. He looked like an absolute beast. But he's on, he's that 17th guy that we carry since part of the international program. So he could be one too. Bro, I know. It would be pretty damn cool. It would be pretty damn cool, though. Very, very highly doubtful, but it would be awesome to see him. Maybe an A.T. Perry signing. I don't know. They want another big guy, but that would make sense. I do think, rolling in there with the 2 tight ends that we got, plus Lil Jordan Humphrey is I mean, it's the most likely, but I don't think we've announced our inactives yet. And we technically, I don't think, have to until later on today. Or maybe we're not elevating anybody. I don't know. Either way. But I think he will. I think Lil Jordan Humphrey will line up a lot more in line. What's cool about, you had mentioned it too, I think in Horsepower Hour, what's cool about having little Jordan Humphrey is that you can really unlock Pat Bryant, and you could just have little Jordan Humphrey be like your hybrid tight end wide receiver that's just dedicated to blocking, or at least does that a majority of the time. So that would be interesting. So we'll see how that ends up ultimately working out. But would love to know your comments, any questions you might have in the comments below, man. Happy to talk about the game. But this one of those games, bro, where it's like, I don't know if I don't feel like it's being talked about as much because we're coming off of a bye week or because of the holidays, and I just haven't been like on YouTube and following, all the news on Twitter like I usually do. But it's going to be a tough game. I don't care that the Washington's 3-8. Anytime you're traveling, you're playing a primetime game, East Coast, on the road, it's never going to be easy. And yes, they're 3-8, but they're, I think, I think they're going to come out really charged up. They're coming off the bye as well. I think they're going to be very motivated, understanding that if they can get a win, man, and get to 4-8, they get Jaden Daniels back next week, they still got a chance, right? Yes, it's a lower chance, but they still got a chance. The NFC is a little bit more wide open than the AFC is in a way, especially with the way that the final games kind of line up. So yeah, they're pretty low on the totem pole, but again, you never know. You never know with this Commanders team. So like I said, what was crazy is when they had announced that Jaden Daniels was going to return for next week. He's not playing this week. But when they had returned when they announced that he was going to return for the following weeks, it was crazy because it actually moved the line just because they felt like they were going to get kind of a little morale boost and stuff on there as well. But yeah, the Commanders play the Vikings, they play the Giants, they play the Eagles twice, and they still play the Cowboys. So they can make a little bit of noise, should they win this game. So it is not going to be easy, man. And another element to it is that it's going to be a rainy game. It's going to be a wet game. I don't know what the wind is going to be like. We'll look at Landover, Maryland weather. They didn't make it seem like it was going to be a full whiteout or anything like that, but there is going to be some. Let's see what the wind. Yeah, I mean, the wind's going to be decent. It's not going to be super, super windy. But in addition to that, it's also going to be cold. So cold and wet, and that's a good experience for this team to get. We don't get a lot of games like that. The weather in Denver is always beautiful, and it's not usually wet. It's usually either hot and dry, cold and dry, or snowing. But it's just dry snow, so it's not like a soaking wet. But it doesn't really. I can't even remember the last snow game we had here in Denver. So we don't get a lot of these games, and you never know, man. You talk about the other teams that are going to be in the playoffs in the AFC potentially, right? You think New England. Well, New England's weather is awful, so you might have to travel there. So this is going to be a good experience. Maybe Pittsburgh. Who knows how that happens if you have to end up traveling there. That would be kind of a pretty epic collapse. But again, like you never know. Indianapolis, they can obviously they're internal. So it's really that New England. You never know what it's going to be like when you have to go play somewhere wet in a nasty game, nasty weather. So it's going to be a good experience for them. Yeah, and just like Kodiak said here, weather is supposed to be really shitty too. Big equalizer. It is. It is a big equalizer. It's going to be about taking care of the football, and they always talk about what are the best things that travel, right, for playoff football in bad weather. Good defense, running the ball. Well, we know how damn good our defense is. Unbelievably elite this year. I think that they're going to be just fine. But how's the run game going to be? This is the game. This is where it starts, right? You talk about this final stretch of the season. Super important that we establish a run game. We establish an identity. We really get a good idea of what we have in this room to look to see if we need to get anybody else. But there's no excuses that we shouldn't be able to run the ball effectively against the Commanders. They are one of the worst in the league in terms of defending the run. I'd like to see Bo Nix involved a little bit more, but they're also very good at running the ball. So we need to make sure that we make them as one-dimensional as possible. But even for us, I mean, we should be able to run the ball. And then if they're going to stack the box and stop that, there's going to be a lot of openings. Their defense as a whole has just been struggling. They had a lot of injuries. They just don't have a lot of really good players. Marshawn Lattimore is out now for the rest of the season. I think they got a couple other key guys. And they've got, Mike Sanders still. I'm surprised how much of a step back he's taken. He used to be a pretty good player, but he's struggling, and they got a couple of backup corners, and one of them we're familiar with in Jonathan Jones. But again, Antonio Hamilton Sr., I think he's a pretty young guy. I know he's not. He's thinking of somebody else. He's a little bit older. But Trey Amos, their second round pick, I believe it was, rookie, he got hurt. Marshawn Lattimore, he got hurt. So they got a lot of backups in the secondary there. And so, we'll see. We'll see how it ends up working out. But we should be able to be very efficient, whether it's running or passing the football against this team. No doubt about it. Kodiak's wanting Harvey lead back duties tomorrow or a 50-50 split with Jaleel. I think it's going to be like a 60-40. I don't really want for it to, but I understand why it will be, right? But I really want to see a game where RJ just dominates the touches, and just to really see what he can do. Because he seems like he's that running back that gets better as he gets going. And you kind of saw that. He had a couple short runs, then he breaks one off for 50. A couple short ones, breaks one off for 47 or something earlier in the year. So I'd like to see more RJ, but it's probably going to be a 60-40 split. I think they'll mix in Jaleel quite a bit as a change of pace because it's pretty evident. Like he brings a different level of speed to this game. There's no doubt about it. So we'll see. But I love the question and I think it's going to be interesting to find out for sure what ends up happening. But otherwise, man, this is going to be it's just going to be a good game for the Broncos to what I'm looking forward to seeing is, okay, how much did the bye week help them overall, right? Because one thing that you had seen in the mini bye was not only did the team look kind of recharged, but it seemed like, man, the coaching staff, specifically Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they were a lot more on the same page. The operation was cleaner. They got the play in a lot better. Bo looked a lot more calmed down, confident in terms of where he was going. His footwork looked better. I'd like to see that continue. They talked about some self-scouting. So I'm looking forward to see how the team comes out. And it's easy for a team to come out flat because, you guys have to remember, this team was cooking 9 in a row. They had good momentum. Some people were thinking maybe the bye didn't come at a good time. Other people thought it did. I felt like it did because I think this team really needed a break, but it could also kill momentum. So how do they come out? Do they start fast? I know they always emphasize starting fast. It's been a struggle this year. Or is it going to be a team that's going to be really flat on both sides? We're going to see. I think historically they've been pretty good though with coming off the bye, at least under Sean Payton. They've performed really well. And the one that stands out was it might have been a Monday night game after a bye week in Buffalo. We went over there, played them really well, ended up winning with a walk-off field goal. So, we'll see how this ends up playing out. But yeah, you look at it, man, it's crazy. The Commanders, they've lost 6 in a row. The Broncos have won 8 in a row. How many times do you see the headlines being that, and then both win streak, the win streak's done and the loss streak is done? So if you're nervous about this game, man, it's only because you're a normal human, because I am. Computer Blue, 4186. I think they'll be pretty rusty this game. They haven't really given us any other reason, right? Just like you had said here, this team doesn't seem to hit the ground running. They haven't really given us any reason to think they're going to come off to a fast start. They haven't really done it much this year at all. So I agree. I hope that's not the case. But, if we end up winning the coin toss, I'd expect for us to defer, and we'll see that way. But otherwise, if we end up getting the ball first, yeah, you would like to see us go down and at least get points, even if it's 3, just setting the tone, kind of getting that initial wave out of the way when it comes to playing on the road. So we will see. But yeah, anytime you're facing an opponent that's kind of down, like I said, they've lost 6 games in a row. They've lost 7 out of their last 8. And so, we're kind of on a heater. You see these flip and dude, Thanksgiving, right? 3 games in a row, all of the underdogs won. And then we had a Black Friday game and the underdog won that. So of the 4 games that we've had so far, week 13, all the underdogs have won. So yeah, any given Sunday is a legitimate thing. I saw your Denver Broncos tonight, late night live. And guys, if you don't watch Kodiak Broncos late night live videos, that's you got to join those. They're awesome. But he had talked about this, what do you think Sean Payton snores before? He does. It's pretty common. I see that play sheet shaking a lot. I know that he's a big coffee drinker. I think he probably gets a little bit juiced up on coffee. But, man, regardless of how long you've been doing it for in the league, like, just think about the adrenaline rush that you're feeling, the excitement, running through your veins. So I think that I think sometimes he might just have a couple extra lattes or two. He always talks about how he always needs to pee so badly during halftime as well. So I think it's that. I don't know. Smelling salts, I doubt he does. Adderall, I doubt it too, because, just as much as that can help you with, like, your focus and your energy and getting everything. Obviously, if you are ADD, it can help with it. But what it doesn't help with is sleeping. Like, it makes sleep really tough. I know it because I happen to take it. So yeah, it could be that. But again, if you take it consistently, like if he's just taking it for game day, sure, I doubt it. But if you're taking it consistently, it's not really going to get you super amped up, or it's not going to get you jittery anymore. So I think probably just a lot of espresso mixed in with the fact that he's probably just really fired up. It's NFL football game, man, and so we'll see. But who knows what these guys do behind the scenes? I mean, it's tough. But sleeping is more important than anything else, especially when you get to his age. But he always talks about it for his players too, like tracking every single minute of sleep, getting as much of that rest as they possibly can. You got to have a good balance of that putting the work in, but also taking care and resting your body. So hopefully he should do the same. But who knows? Adderall screws up my sleep. I made 3 videos back to back in April, May about sleep. Yeah, I remember that, dude. And it's so common. That's such a common thing. But I tell you, like, if you take it consistently, it gets to the point where, like, it doesn't really suppress your appetite as much. Or maybe you just get used to it. You start to sleep and regulate your sleep better because you kind of become a little bit more used to it. You know when to take it. You know what you need to do in order to, like, minimize the effects. Like, dude, you got to drink a lot of water. Like, if you think a lot of water regular is a lot, you need to drink more than that. So there you go. Don't take that as medical advice, but yeah, I'm right there with you. But again, man, this is going to be a tough game. I mean, I think it feels like every Broncos game up until this point has been a tough game. We've only had really 2 games that were easy wins, and that was against the Cowboys and against the Bengals early in the season. Otherwise, as good as we are and as good as we have been, and the fact that we are 9-2, like, every game's been really close and we found a way to win. So I don't think this game should be like that, but they've given me no reason to think it's going to be otherwise. But realistically, you look at the 2 teams on paper, even with the weather, even with the fact that we're on the road on a primetime game, the Broncos should win this game by at least a touchdown, at least. But it rarely works like that, and it makes it a little bit tricky too, because you don't really have a lot of film on this team when they have all their weapons back and with Marcus Mariota as their backup. I mean, you have a lot on Marcus because he's played a bit, but I don't know how many. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of games where Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin both played together. Again, I haven't really followed the Commanders all that much, but it doesn't seem like there was a lot of games like that. And then, I feel like Zach Ertz has been pretty solid overall as well. But we'll see. We'll see, man. Miller Time, thank you, brother. You rock too, bro. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for all that you do. And like I said in several different videos, thankful for so many things this Thanksgiving, obviously. Thank God we got a lot of things to be grateful for. But I'm so thankful for just this platform, YouTube, this community that we've built. It's been awesome getting to know so many people. Even many of you guys I've never met before, but I feel like I know y'all. So it's been great. Very much appreciate it. There you go. No one is talking about this, but tomorrow is the first time all year Terry, Deebo, and Noah Brown are all healthy for Washington. What did I see something about Noah Brown? Let me see. Oh, yeah, he will play. There was another receiver. There was somebody else that I think they had marked out, though. No. Well, I know Luke McCaffrey was out, but I don't know why I thought I saw that Noah Brown wasn't ready to come back yet. But, yeah. Yep. Noah Brown is going to be back. So that's interesting, man. Just that makes my point. I'm glad that my instinct originally was right. Like, even Terry and Debo, there wasn't a lot of games where I feel like they played together, but now you add Noah Brown into the mix. Yeah, it's tough. And Noah Brown's a pretty good player. Pretty sure he's a slot guy or plays in the slot most of the time. But I just feel like every time he's got an opportunity, he's balled. Didn't he ball out in like the playoffs last year? Or was that Dynami Brown? That might have been Dynami Brown. But Noah Brown, I think, had a good playoff run too, but he might have been with the Texans at the time. But let's kind of look it up here. He hasn't. So I'm just pulling up some PFF stuff. No, not too much of a slot guy. He has been played out more wide, so I think I'm confusing him with Dynami Brown. But yeah, he was with. No, he did play. Noah Brown also did play in Washington last year too. I'm gonna put playoffs. I'm gonna look at Noah Brown playoff stats because I don't know why it could have been Dynami Brown, but I feel like he was pretty good too. No, I'm completely wrong. It was the other Brown. Dynami Brown. So, yeah, but he's another big body receiver, somebody else you got to take into account for. That's a pretty solid mix. And yeah, David, me too. I want to see our offense look like they did against the Chiefs. I would say for me, I want to see Bo Nix look like he did against the Chiefs more than anything because I liked how efficient he looked. I liked how guys were getting open. The operation looked smooth. He was accurate down the field and really had all parts of the field. He was taking, what the defense gave him, especially with the checkdowns when needed. So he's really decisive. But I want to see a much better run game. You can't even say it was bad against the Chiefs because they didn't really do it a lot. But yes, I would like to see them have more of a commitment to running the ball. Get the ball in Marvin Mims' hands, man. Like, that was the biggest thing to the turnaround last year towards the end of the year, like where our offense really started to hit its stride late. It's because we started to find creative ways to get the ball to Marvin. We got to start doing that, whether it's handing off the ball in the backfield, end arounds, catches in space. I want to see more Marvin as well because he adds that new dynamic. But, yeah, overall, I like the way the passing game looked against the Chiefs. And, the run game is going to be really important too. Middle time coming. Also, I'm thinking for the draft to draft linebacker Sonny Styles or Carnell Tate, and in the second round, tight end Michael Trigg, and in the third, the best offensive lineman. Listen, I was looking. I've been very, very introductory looking into the prospects. Sonny Styles, I feel like I'm going to be really surprised if he's even available for us. I know he's a linebacker, but I saw something. I don't think he's missed one tackle this entire season. I know they played today, but I was looking at his PFF and then I was watching some videos from the NFL Draft Stock Exchange, and yeah, dude, I don't think he's missed a tackle this year. It is pretty damn impressive. So I think he's gonna be. Let me see. It's always so much different for the college ones, but anyways, dude's an absolute monster. He would be amazing. I just don't think he's going to be available. In terms of Michael Trigg, our boy Andy in the Discord talked about there were some character concerns revolving around Michael Trigg. Don't know how true it is. If it is true, you could basically take him off the Broncos board. That's not going to happen. And then third best offensive lineman in the third. I like the idea of going offensive lineman in the first round, offensive lineman again in the middle rounds. I think we need to, even though we have all these guys locked up at least for another season, we cannot continue to not develop young talent on the O-line. You don't want to be caught in a position where you're like the Cowboys or you're like other teams that had really good O-lines that kind of aged themselves out. And then, you don't really have replacements behind them. And I love the idea of taking the best available tackle. If there's a tackle that you really like, you draft him. He can play left guard for you because I don't know if Ben Powers is going to be back. And then let him develop there. And then when he's ready to be a tackle or you need a tackle, I like that one a lot. Sorry. Before we get to this, because I love this question, David Youngkin said it looked like Sean was getting the play calls in faster. Yeah, that was a big thing, man. The team was settled, lined up with 10, 15 seconds left. That was big. And I think that settles the entire offense, especially Bo Nix, down a lot. Cody X said, I want us to hit a couple explosives tomorrow. Last year we were going 3 and out at the same rate as the season, but this year we don't have the explosive plays to support our offense when they struggle. Yeah, I would love to see us hit a lot of those more of those downfield explosive plays. I think you make a really good point. And again, explosive plays in the run game. But yes, that would be huge. And teams need to start respecting that. Like we need, like I'd like to start, because there's there comes a point where like teams are almost daring you to beat them deep, because they're like, you haven't done it yet, so we're gonna give that to you, and then if you can beat us, until you can prove us otherwise, we're just gonna keep doing it, and they'll take other areas of the field off. So yeah, I think it's important that we start to hit those explosives. Jennings Dunker Mullet. I think his name is Jennings, but this guy, man, I took him in my mock draft. I mean, just take a look at this beautiful human. Tell me that you don't want him on the Broncos. You're crazy. He's a tackle for Iowa. Could play guard as well. But look at this. I mean, look at this guy. Oh, let's go back. Come on. Oh, yeah, you guys are looking at the right tabs. So that's good. But yeah, I mean, how amazing is that? I'll take this dude on the Broncos all day, every day. So I am good with that. Give me Jennings Dunker. But he's another guy that, we'll have to see the measurables, because if he doesn't have the length everyone's looking for, he might just be a guard in the NFL. But yeah, someone that projects to be really good at guard, but can also be a very good tackle. I love that idea. It's never going to be a sexy pick. Like it's hard to make fans super fired up for that, but it's a smart pick, man, and it's been a long time since we've done it. So I'd like to see at least a couple of offensive linemen drafted this year. That would be awesome. That would be great. But you guys are all dope, man. You've a couple dozen at some point of you guys joined the live today. I know it's a Saturday after during a long holiday. It's been a crazy last few days for me. So I was happy that I got about an hour away that I can just come on and catch up with y'all. But I'm gonna wrap this thing up soon. But if you didn't check my recap video, I just posted it earlier today about the Broncos and the Commanders, kind of the keys to the games. We went into some details there, key matchups, and then I gave you my score prediction on there as well. So be sure to check it out. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to Kodiak Broncos, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. Go subscribe. Show that man some love, as well as David with David Talks Broncos, our man Jeremy, Broncos Unbridled, Strez, the MHRT guys, everybody. Support the local YouTube guys, man. It's a fun thing for us, but it's important because I think you're always going to get the best takes from everyday fans. There's not going to be any bias. It's just going to be what people ultimately think. So let me know. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.